Hello and welcome to another day of Dota 2. It is StarLadder, it is Season 6, it is Playday number 4 and game number 2 of today. And we have ourselves a game between KP and SheeverGaming. Without RTZ, by the way, on KP. He's not here. We're going to see a stand-in. And I say we because I am not the only one who is casting this match today. Vykromond, welcome back.
Hey Sheever, how you doing?
Doing good. Wishing I had tigers, but apart from that, all is okay.
Right. No, definitely. So Kaipi playing with a stand-in for RTZ. It is, I think, 10 a.m. where RTZ lives, so he is probably in school. But I don't know that much about the stand-in, actually. Guardian 101, I think it's somebody's Smurf or alt account, but I'm not sure whose.
Okay, well, I have no idea myself.
10 seconds
I have to say, I'm really looking forward to this match. We haven't seen that much of SheeverGaming yet, but the things that we did see is that they are a team that is very aggressive, can actually pull it off as well, and is just a very enjoyable team to watch. So I'm hoping again today to see them putting up some good performance. Of course, KP here as well. It's been a while since I've actually seen them. Not with their full lineup, unfortunately, as already pointed out, but we'll still see what they have in store for us, because this is their first game for StarLadder Season 6.
Kaipi, they've been looking pretty good. I mean, pretty stable performance. Some games they look really good. Some games they look a little lost in some respect. But I think I saw them a day or two ago, and they were playing fairly solidly. Interesting pickup. The first pick, Nyx Assassin for OsG. One thing that I like when these guys pick this is that they've run it in the mid, and I think they can also run it support. Of course, they had Alba on the mid Nyx Assassin yesterday, and it worked very, very well. We could see them reprise that, or we could see it as part of a try.
Yeah, well, this looks like a very strong tri-lane already, with Anna, Nyx Assassin, Shadow Demon and Luna. Of course, combinations that we see often. Of course, we've seen a lot of Nyx Assassin, Shadow Demon lately. In the past, we've seen a lot of Shadow Demon, Luna, where the Lucent Beam, of course, with that Soul Catcher on there, does immense amounts of damage. And I'm thinking tri-lane. As, well, the bans, just go over them real fast. It was a Wisp, a Bat, Gyro and Lifestealer, no real surprise there. And for KP, having two heroes that are very good at counter pushing, very good at sustainability in lanes, with Darkseer off lane, Keeper of Light, of course, very defensive. So I'm kind of curious to see what they will pick up, as they are actually already using a lot of their bonus time.
Now, the interesting thing for OsG here is I think this is the exact same draft, bans, and picks that they did yesterday. So the draft that beat Roxkiss, I guess they think, hey, that was a really good draft. We should just do the same thing. Because every single pick, even in the same order, I think.
I actually cannot recall those kind of things. It's all got meshed up to one game at the end. I just remember that it was an awesome game to watch.
Yeah. They have secured the Luna much earlier than you usually see teams get her. But again, Judo played so well on Luna yesterday. It was really something to watch. Like, I think he was 15-0 or 16-0, and like I said, like, he wasn't missing last hits, period. Now, Luna's pretty good at not missing last hits because her base damage plus the first rank of Lunar Blessing is pretty high. But still, I mean, it was a remarkable performance.
5 seconds.
Yeah, we're gonna see us like banning out some carries now, because that's the thing they were missing on KP. They've got their two supports with the Rubik and a Keeper of Light, but Phantom Lance are already getting banned out there. Of course, that's one of the ones that you would expect to see together with the Keeper of the Light. And we're gonna be seeing solo lanes getting banned out by KP. And the only reason they're probably doing that, well, I'm actually thinking if OsG, as we saw yesterday, you said Nyx Assassin was solo mid. Are they trying to make KP believe that they're running an aggressive tri-lane and just forcing KP to only ban out solo laners, while they are gonna be still picking up one of the supports and then going for Nyx Assassin solo lane?
Maybe. I think so, and it would be interesting because Kaipi, if they saw the game yesterday, will know exactly what they're going for here. So they should be able to cotton onto that sort of, that ruse that I think you're completely right, OsG is playing. So yesterday, the way that they filled this out was Treant for the tri-lane, and then a Weaver was the other hero.
10 seconds remaining.
So I don't know if they'll repeat that again, but they may well.
KP taking a lot of time again. So far, OsG hasn't used a single second in their bonus time, and KP ticking into there again, and only having 35 seconds left. It's really not that much if you consider, well, if they already thought this long about their previous picks, how long would they need to think about their later ones, especially since OsG is of course planning on banning out those heroes that KP might want to play, with carries all around, with the Faceless Void banned out. We might see an Anti-Mage getting banned out. We know that Eternal Envy likes to play that one, and Puck the ban out for KP, so that is a mid-hero out of the pool.
Sorry, just give me a second. Apparently my mic isn't open, but it is open, so I'm not sure what the issue is. Oh well.
Toggling on and off sometimes works.
Yeah, I just toggled it, so hopefully it'll work now.
Okay, the ban on the Anti-Mage is still there, so no surprise there.
Yeah, that's not tremendously surprising. These are smart bans from Oslic. The interesting thing about their bans here is that they banned 5 carries. So
yeah.
It's rare that you see a team concentrate every single one of its bans onto one opposing player. But these are one and all Eternal Envy bans.
Yeah, of course, Lifestealer would have probably been banned regardless. But yeah, you're right. Doesn't leave that much in the pool for KP.
10 seconds.
What kind of carry are you expecting to see picked up from them?
I actually, the thing about carries is I feel like carry is actually the most open thing right now in the current metagame. Like, you can use basically any carry and make it work right now. Like, there's still things like... and the other thing is, Eternal Envy likes playing weird carries. So there's still, like, Phantom Assassin, Ursa. These are heroes that we've seen him play before, and they're still available. In addition to some more standard choices. Like, even, like, a casual Chaos Knight. Juggernaut is still in the pool. Is Lone Druid still in the pool? I think Lone Druid's still in there. So the thing is, you can ban a ton of one-slot options, and there's still like 20 left. Whereas if you look at supports, there actually aren't that many tier 1 supports being used in the current
5 seconds
configuration.
remaining.
It looks like for the first time, Oslic is going to be thinking a bit harder about their picks this time, as Chen was actually the last ban. I'm not sure if Oslic would have actually picked that one up, but just in case, I guess. I mean, can't hurt. But they're now thinking about what they're going to be picking up. Are we going to see that Treant Protector?
Maybe.
Because I don't think KP is going to pick it up.
Oh,
so they
not.
don't need to. They don't need to pick it up just yet. They could actually wait for that until last one, or they could pick it up and have their last pick still be a surprise.
They're thinking about Magnus right now, I think, because KP still has the option to go for the Magnus on their end, and I think it'll be a very strong pick. Of course, they have the Rubik, so they could steal any Magnus spells, and in fact, Rubik has a lot of stuff that he can steal this game. There's the Eclipse from Luna, obviously. There's just about every Shadow Demon and Nyx Assassin spell. Even the Queen of Pain spells, especially Blink. Basically, every single hero of Oslic Gaming offers a lot that Rubik can capitalize on. So we could see a very big Rubik game.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that probably was then the debate, as OsG decided to go for counter for the Rubik. It is the Queen of Pain that got picked up there. Let's see, or for the Rubik, what am I saying? For the Magnus, that is. But yeah, there is the Magnus still, and Queen of Pain Magnus should be going the way of Queen of Pain in the mid lane, assuming she is indeed going to be there, and that will mean that Nyx Assassin is going to be playing as support. And we're missing an offlaner for OsG, depending on how they're going to be running their lanes, as in, are they going to be having an aggressive tri lane, or will they be having a safe tri lane and then an offlane? Because if they're going to be going for a safe lane solo, they could still pick up some nice carries. A Lone Druid would still very much fit into a lineup, I think.
They could certainly do that. Luna is okay in the aggressive tri lane, so she does an amazing amount of damage. But you can also get punished very heavily, simply because she doesn't have a way to just sort of tank for a while like your Lifestealers of the world do. But that is an option. Their draft is actually wide open right now, Sheever. Like, they could do... they have a tremendous amount of options still. They could still run an aggressive tri-lane Luna solo safe Queen of Pain mid. They could run Queen of Pain solo safe Nyx mid in an aggressive tri-lane with Leshrac or something. Like, they... just because of the openness of the ban pool so far, especially the fact that 5 of the 10 bans are all focused on carries, and they already have a carry. There's still a tremendous, like, you can just see they're digging into the time, because it's really wide open both for them, and there's still quite a few options for Kaipi in terms of non-traditional carries to fill this lineup out with.
Well, they're quickly ticking out of time, though. Only 15 seconds left. KP is going to be happy with the time that Oslic spends here, because they're probably using this also to think about their carry, as we're going to be seeing the Clockwork picked up, and they are still the Lone Druid as the last one. And that is going to be rounding up the drafting phase. I have to say, like, if I normally like take a step back and look at the entire lineup and then already have kind of a favorite for myself, but I can't make up my mind right now. A lot will depend on this laning stage.
Yes, both teams I think have pretty strong drafts. Lone Druid, obviously an excellent hero. It's interesting that they've chosen to essentially run the Lone Druid as their solo core. If Oslic can pick on the Lone Druid, I think Kaipi will be in very, very, very bad shape, because you do have Guardian 101 that's stand-in on the Magnus, but I feel like you can't really rely on a stand-in to carry the game for you. It's got to be your sort of standard players, right? So Envy has to do well on Lone Druid, and Oslic know that, and they have a lineup that can punish a team that needs one player to do well. Clockwork, remaining. Queen of Pain, Nyx Assassin, these are the sort of heroes that are the stuff of nightmares if you're a carry that doesn't have like a blink escape mechanism.
Yeah, a lot of burst and a lot of mobility to chase you down, especially if you're going to be on a solo lane. And wow, a 6 to 7 minute pause needed from KP. It was 5. Can I get a pause rules? Were the questions. Well,
I guess someone's having
real issues.
Real issues. Does that mean real life issues, or does it just mean the issues are not fictitious?
It means that other people's issues have not been real.
Just because it's come with me doesn't mean he's flaming Sheever.
Oh. Well. I don't know.
It's kind of a shame they didn't go for the Phantom Assassin. I mean, she blows up really. The thing about Phantom Assassin here is she's pretty good dueling against melee heroes. Like, she's actually great against Lifestealer. But the problem is Oslic do so much magic damage that until she gets BKB, it would be very troublesome. So it would be too high risk I think, for them. And that's why they went with a much safer option of the Lone Druid. It gives them pretty good push as well.
Yeah, man, and I actually think that Lone Druid will be in the safe lane as well, just to give him some farm. Because they can't afford to have Lone Druid not do good. Because otherwise they'll drop behind so far, and they'll only have the Magnus to go for those RPs. And you know, he did say it might be a Smurf account of someone, but it is a lot of pressure for a stand-in to hit those RPs properly and to make sure that there's follow-up. Because if you're counting Lone Druid out of the picture for now, you will have 4 heroes here. I mean, you have got your Illuminate over the top, which is great. Your Fate Bolt, Iron Shell, but it's a lot of burst damage. No real sustainable right click. So if that Magnus doesn't kill everybody in that burst damage that there is, and there's a mechanism on Oslic, well, then KP is going to be having a very tough time.
Yeah, I would say that the first 15 minutes or so are extremely delicate for Kaipi, and it could all come horribly unglued at any moment, just because if Luna gets an amazing early start, and I don't think Darkseer will be able to punish her that effectively, and they just have the mobility of the Queen of Pain, the Clockwork, if Nyx Assassin hits 6 in a decent amount of time, I just feel like they can punish Kaipi's heroes, and until Lone Druid is very established, I feel like Kaipi lack a way of just killing, unless they sort of get just an RP Illuminate stack and just win right there.
Are you expecting an aggressive trialing coming off from Oslic?
I don't think so, actually. I think it's probably the Clockwork solo, but then again, I don't know, maybe you're right, maybe they will run the aggressive. The problem with Clockwork against Rubik is Rubik lifts you and takes you out of your cogs, and then you don't have sort of the turtle shell to hide in anymore. So maybe that'll prompt them to run the aggressive, but I've seen so few Oslic games, Sheever, that I feel like I can't make a good judgment. If you have a carry who has extremely good last-hitting mechanics, I feel like it's a shame to not put him on the safe lane. Of course, they could do a tri-lane with the Clockwork and run safe lane solo Luna, too.
They might just be able to do that, and the Iron Shell will be there, of course, but I think Luna will be able to deal with that if she gets a bit of extra regen from her supports. She should be fine, but it really depends, and as you said, basically, me personally, I've only seen 2 games of Oslic so far, and I've been really impressed with them. And I said it yesterday. I will say it again though, but because it's so nice to see a team that just, you know, they make their way up. Amateur series, pro series, star series. Here they are, new team, seemingly stable team, with good results, with enjoyable play styles, and just able to take games off of teams that are like yesterday. Spoiler alert, when they were playing up against Rockskiss, apparently the, what's it called, the bets, 99% in favor of Rocks.
I mean, who's going to, only somebody who's really a long shot chaser is going to bet on.
Yeah, or, you know, friends. You know. Yeah.
Moms. If your mom bets on Dota Lounge.
Well, then she is now rich with rares because, wow, yes, that I mean, a lot of people lost items there. And I mean, I'm very liking seeing new teams come to the scene so strong in this way without really any, you know, no sponsor, no nothing, just based on their own performance. They're here.
Right. No, I think it's always I'm always very happy to see new teams. My only question is always, you know, will they stick together?
Yeah.
How will they do? Can they stick it out and stay together as a team? And doubly so with Russian teams, which, for better or for worse, they change rosters a mile a minute.
CIS teams. I've been called out on saying
CIS teams, yes.
Russian too often.
I believe that these guys are Russian, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, they are 3 of Russian, 2 of Belarus.
Okay, well then definitely CIS teams.
Yeah.
And then of course, CIS teams except when the team is Polish, in which case you should call it a Polish team. Because Poland is not in the Commonwealth of Independent States.
Wow. There you go, gentlemen and ladies. Have some topography. Is that actually a word, or did I just translate it?
Topography is a word, yeah.
Oh, cool. Because it was like a Dutch word translated into English, like,
Nice.
But yeah, some lessons for you.
You probably meant geography, but topography is a word. Topography is more about, like, the
cities.
layout of land, like mountains and valleys and stuff.
Well, when we had topography on school, we had to say which capital was in which country.
That's more geography, or in American that would be geography.
Okay.
But I totally get what you mean.
Oh, good.
So
otherwise
there is
we'd be in trouble.
one Polish team I think that's semi-competitive. I think Imperium Gamers. They were in WePlay, but I don't know if that many other
Power
Polish.
Rangers from then?
Power Rangers are Belarus.
Ah, okay.
So they were actually the last Dota WCG. They were the Belarus team.
Okay. We are having a go. Yay. So we can finally see what's up with the lanes, as of course, you know, we had just had a very long break and we didn't even take the time to introduce the players. Shame on us. But
So responsible.
OsG Gaming on the side of the Radiant, we'll see Judo playing Luna. It is gonna be the Shadow Shaman being played by OB1 Banan. Slander on the Queen of Pain, Brain playing Clockwork, and Elba, and as a support, it is gonna be the Nyx Assassin for him, and everybody moving bottom, so we don't really know what's going on, but I'm kind of thinking safe at least.
Well, you can, if the other team goes, it's very hard to win a 5-on-5 fight at level 1 against Luna, just because everybody gets 14 more damage. And looking towards Kaipi, it does look like they'll be running Bone 7 on, he is back, he had a stand-in yesterday, but he's here today. He'll be running the solo lane Darkseer. Then we will have the stand-in Guardian 101 on the Magnus, and then the tri-lane will be composed of Pylidai on the Keeper of the Light. Eternal Envy will be on the Carry Lone Druid, and Come With Me on the Rubik. This is one to watch, I think, because there are so many things he can steal that could make a huge difference.
Yeah, and Come With Me, definitely a player that will steal them, and has got very, very, very fast reflexes. Sometimes too fast, if people remember his Earth Shaker, I'm sure they do. But yeah, we'll see how we can do here. We are going to be seeing Elba, of course, already seeing the double damage turn go in the way of the bear, or of Come With Me if you want to try to arrest him on the top lane where Brain will be. So safe tri lane, or should I say semi tri lane, because Elba is actually just roaming a bit, is going to be warding probably, finding himself telekinesis up into the high ground with him, but not stuck because trees were destroyed, and Elba will be able to place a ward and going to be safe.
That reminds me of, was it yesterday that Alba ended up on the top rune high ground?
Yeah.
And there was a weird duel with Magnus? I feel like I need
and
a highlight reel of that.
And people from the low ground were helping out. And
yes.
Oh, it was
amazing.
And the tree, yeah, oh, there should be a highlight on that one. That was just funny. That was hilarious.
It was like some sort of like professional wrestling thing where people were just throwing things into the ring. Like, it was amazing.
Here, use this. It will help you out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Too bad.
I think there was a tree ant and used overgrowth and leech seed from the low ground.
Yeah,
it was just insane.
And there was a telekinesis, or it was illuminate that actually ended up not hitting,
Yep.
and yeah, it was very enjoyable. People go
Hopefully
watch that one. It was OSG.
Yep.
Up against Rocks, was it?
Yep, that was the Rocks game.
Cool. Well, first is KP, so you can check out the highlight like after this game, as this is the last game for StarLadder today.
Ooh. Nice little play here by Eternal Envy, actually, using his bear to disrupt the creep pull from Brain. If he had pulled those jungle creeps successfully west, it would have intercepted the incoming creep wave and allowed him to get some XP. But instead, the bear ruins the pull, and now Eternal Envy is going to take this entire wave, and Brain won't get any XP from this. He's still at 0 of 200.
There's actually a changing blows here with the Keeper of Light, able to do a lot of harassment, but still is the one to have to get away. And he's actually going to get hit by... Ooh, nice dodge. Never mind. He's not going to get hit by the Illuminate. In the meantime, we have the offlaner of KP. Bone 7 is actually rotated into the jungle because he knew he couldn't do anything on the bottom lane. There's just too many people around there. He didn't have any wards, so stacking and pooling is going to be just fine for OsG, and they should be able to get a lot of out of this jungle, as they already have started stacking the big camps, of course, to get their Luna bigger, faster. And I'm actually, you know, that's the downside of Clockwork. You can't send him into the jungle, but I feel like he probably should be leaving here soon, because he is going to be in a lot of trouble soon. There's a telekinesis up into the other side of the cogs. Still a bit cogs helping out though, but Brain probably going to be going down. The bear with the block, and the right clicks come in. It is Come With Me that takes the first blood for KP here on the top lane.
Very nice little start for KP here. They get Bone 7 into the jungle. Obviously, Darkseer can struggle if he comes into the offlane at level 1, so he decides to jungle. I think this is the right decision. And we're going to see the Darkseer quickly eclipse the Clockwork, because this is still a level 1 clock.
Yeah, and he'll stay... well, actually, he'll get level 2 fast. There's a wave pushing in, but there's also a wave being denied. The stack is there. Triple stack, actually, to deny the wave. And this is going to be giving a lot of experience to these supports.
Absolutely. Kaipi doing a very good job in this trial, and they're definitely just getting more out of it right now than OsG are getting out of their try. Now again, we see pretty good farm, actually. He doesn't, I don't think it's perfect like it was the last game, but he may have missed one last hit. So Judo, again, doing very, very well in this Luna, and he's going to get scary. Luna is a hero who's very good at almost every stage of the game, like in terms of damage output.
Yeah, we have actually got a bit of a smoke up behind StarLadder. We might see them trying to go for something here, but it looks like Guardian 101 is aware that something is wrong. I mean, he has got a sentry ward and a ward there, so I'm guessing he saw it, and yeah, he did. So instantly scouted out, and is gonna give StarLadder well, a bit of free time, because his opponent just went for the rune. StarLadder sitting on 17 for 5, and we have, of course, got Guardian 101 sitting on 16 to 1.
So, Eternal Envy went for one of the greediest builds I've ever seen. Check out his inventory and the bear's inventory.
Bear is completely... He only has a Hand of Midas.
He just has Midas.
No regen, no nothing.
Yeah, so they clearly felt very confident about this try. I bet if OsG see this, they're like, damn, we really should have gone for that aggressive try lane.
Wow.
So this Lone Druid is going, like, I mean, we were talking earlier, Sheever, that they need to make sure they sort of survive the early game and get the Lone Druid into play and get him very good farm. And if they can survive and keep the Midas stacks coming, Eternal Envy will be huge, probably earlier than Luna will be.
Yeah, especially if they are able to defend their tier 1 tower bottom, because that's where Bone 7 just reappeared. At level 5, he is going to be able to just continue to stand there, and with Iron Shells, just making sure that at least there's not going to be a tower being pushed down, so no extra gold for Judo, which is something that, well, now up against that Lone Druid like that, they actually kind of need.
They want, as soon as they signal the Midas, which I think they've already seen, they know that they need to get the Luna somewhat ahead. Now, she can still prey on Lone Druid quite a bit for a little while. One of the nice things about being Lone Druid against Luna, wow, trouble for Guardian 101 here. He decides not to dive, he doesn't have the mana.
Oh, Impale, Mana Burn, one blink from StarLadder is all that it takes, but it's on cooldown. One more hit might do the same thing, and it does.
Will they get the courier? No, they don't.
Nope, they don't. Flying courier, too tough to take down.
Yeah.
As well, we have a roaming duo here now. Level 3 and level 2 though. This is trouble for them, because we can of course compare them to the supports of KP, and well, they're a bit behind. They're actually 2 levels behind even for Obi-Wan Banon.
The earlier the game is, the more important the level parity is, because the difference between like a level 6 support and a level 3 or 4 support is huge. Survivability, if you're still level 2, you don't even have all your abilities yet, right? Like this Shadow Demon doesn't even have Shadow Poison, much less, let's not even talk about Demonic Purge. So, oh man, nice cogs from Brain. He's going to get lifted out of it. I think he's dead.
Yep, I think so too. What you mentioned, telekinesis out of the cogs, and it is Come With Me again that takes the kill, so he's got both kills of his team so far. Actually, Guardian 101 rotating for that. Quite surprising, actually, to see him do that at level 5. He didn't even get his level 6 from that one. But, yeah, that's an interesting rotation. Realized that maybe he couldn't do that much on the mid lane with StarLadder being level 7. So 2 levels higher right now than the Magnus. That's quite a big difference.
Well, he should at the very least get RP. I mean, he's going to come back into the lane just for... I mean, he's only 9 experience points away from it, so any member of the creep wave dying means that he finds that level. You can see, I mean, you're completely right. He's playing scared, which he should be, because Queen of Pin is very powerful relative to him right now, but he will get that level 6, and that's very, very important.
Yeah, now that he has his RP, we might see him trying to use it. I don't think he can really use it in the mid lane though, as we have on the top lane. Indeed, some supports coming in. There goes the disruption. Cogs, Pylai die, a lot of trouble. Pylai die, tries to TP out, but will go down. And that is gonna be Come With Me, sitting at level 6. Just stolen himself the mana burn. Level 6 at 7 minutes in for a support. Really nicely done.
Right.
As that is actually faster than the Darkseer offlane.
Right. I mean, they did a great job of stacking these jungle camps. You know they're going to be stacking camps because it's a team with Eternal Envy on it. But they stacked the jungle camps and cleared them out with Illuminate, which got them a lot of XP. And they're massively ahead of that. Come With Me actually coming in. They're going to get Judo, maybe.
Yeah, looks like they will. And that's a Lucent Beam stolen by Come With Me. And that's going to be him on a killing spree with all 3 kills of the team on his kill counter.
Yep. Come With Me playing very, very well. Nice smoke gank there. Bone 7... You can use that Darkseer Surge to just completely surprise someone with how quickly they are. Like, they came out of smoke and half a second later, like, you don't have... Very few humans have the reaction time to be able to get away as Luna in that situation. So, Come With Me gets the telekinesis and just a quick, nice steal. Level 4 Lucent Beam does 300 damage, and like I said, Luna's not tanky early. Like, he has less HP than Rubik has.
Yeah, it's just pretty painful, and no supports around to either help her, or to help her either, rather. And I mean, in terms of levels, it's looking pretty grim for OsG. I mean, they're still having 2 supports at level 4. They have the Clockwork at level 5, and that's 3 of their heroes below level 6. And there's only 1 below level 6 on KP themselves, and it's gonna start to show real fast. As KP it seems kind of done with their laning. They have been roaming a lot already, especially of course with their supports because they can. And we might actually see a bit of extra rotation coming in from OsG as the supports are hanging around in the mid lane, not getting any experience, but might try to go for a kill.
Yeah, Oslic have just not been able to get into that groove that they had against Roxkiss, where they were just constantly killing them everywhere. Kaipi have done a good job of denying the space, and in addition, those early levels for the supports really help. Just Come With Me alone is kind of a force to be reckoned with this game. I mean, as you mentioned, he has all 3 of their kills. He's actually, it looks like, going Earn. I love this pickup. Like I mentioned in the last game, when you're picking up kills as a support, Earn is just an amazing item for you to get because it gives your team the ability to just constantly move around.
Bottom
Wall
lane
is down. Yeah.
They did the same thing again, this time not getting the kill though, and StarLadder comes in looking for Come With Me. Has got the mana for a Sonic Wave, just needs to aim it properly, does do it, and the Lucent Beam from Judo to get revenge. And that is a kill that they desperately needed. Killing spree gold on top of that for Judo. Really something nice for him.
Very nice pickup. KP, like you said, they tried to replicate the success, and not quite good TP reinforcement coming from Oslic. Very important to actually not get that Rubik on even more of a rampage. Very nice to protect the Luna. Yeah,
and this time she also had a Bracer in the inventory, so I guess a bit more tanky, otherwise she probably would still go down. We have got Guardian 101 hanging around here still, though he still has his RP. We still haven't seen it, and he is still looking for blood, and he is gonna be trying to find it up on Judo. Gets a surge as well. Judo realizes something is wrong. Now Obi-Wan Banan finds him. There goes a disruption. And a skewer in. Will he try to... Oh, he might be able to get a 2-man RP here if he goes for it, but he didn't. Now he goes for it. Eclipse, though, already hit, and that is going to be a kill for the Shadow Demon Judo. Gonna be able to get away. Nice impale, and there's another kill. Double kill for the Shadow Demon, and that is going to be 2 kills going the way of OsG. And this is the kind of aggression that we saw from them yesterday as well. counter aggression rather.
Counter aggression, yeah. That was Alba has really on point with those impales. We saw it yesterday, and this is the first really remarkable one of the game this time. But that was an excellent impale. Without that impale, Luna dies unquestionably. Maybe Darkseer dies. He might actually get away, but Luna dies. So they do pick off Clockwork in the top, but that was a big loss in the bottom for Kaipi actually. Very nice defensive counter aggression play, as you said, from Oslo.
Yeah, was it actually just 2 supports picking up the solo Clockwork? Looks like it. I actually missed that kill.
It was, but keep in mind, come with me. He's level 8. Like,
oh yeah, okay.
He's 2 levels above where Clockwork is, and Fatebolt is a pretty chunky nuke when it's maxed out.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing Highlight Eye continuing to push the lane out. We'll actually be able to lay down some pressure on tier 2 for someone to come around, and it's gonna be Clockwork that's gonna be coming there, because he is still in need of some extra golden levels. He's got himself mana boots, but other than that, absolutely nothing for himself just yet. We have StarLadder going for, well, I'm not entirely sure, but I would guess it's gonna be an Orchid just to stop that RP from happening.
I think there's no question that it's going to be an Orchid. Wow. Oh, so here's the other thing Oslic always do, and this is very no Tidehunter-ish. They massively stack these camps so that their carries can clear them. So I was expecting Luna to clear this, but it looks like they're actually going to try to get Slander his Orchid faster. And frankly, this Queen of Pain has had a fairly quiet game. I would love to see him be more aggressive, especially if they could try to pierce this jungle, because Envy is just farming. He's actually going to go solo Roche. He thinks he's out on Ursa, and he can do it too. He's got the medallion. Oh man, he's gonna get it, I think.
He should be able to. Definitely. And there's no way Oslic knows about this. I mean, one, it's only 13 minutes into the game. They don't have any wards. If we look at the map in general, we've got 4 wards up from KP, having good coverage at the river, and the mid lane, rune spots, and even the top lane is covered, as we have got Magnus picking up the Queen of Pain. Actually, RP used for that one, gets himself in cogs though. Already used his skewer and will be paying for his skill, but still a worthy trade, I'd say.
Definitely. It's a bad trade for Oslic because they just farmed up a bunch of unreliable gold on the Queen of Pain in the jungle, and they lose it almost immediately. Not to mention, I mean, Envy, that gave him 2 levels. He's now 3 levels ahead of the Luna, this Lone Druid, and he's just gonna go Midas, and I don't know, he's gonna have the armlet pretty soon as well. It's kind of scary. This Lone Druid's getting really scary.
And he actually is going to be going into the stack. Telekinesis here up on Judo. He does have his Eclipse again though. But there could be more people here very shortly, because Keeper of Light uses Spirit Form. And we already have 4 people here on the bottom lane for KP, and we do see everybody backing off from Oslic.
And this is actually pretty bad for Oslic as well, because losing this tower is so much map control over your own jungle that you lose. And like we were talking about, it's very important for Oslic, or they feel that in the mid game they really want to pick up that extra jungle farm. And now it's Envy land. Like you can see, he's clearing out the camps that they spent hard work to stack.
That's very painful. I mean, the ward's helping out. We do now have a hook shot in upon Come With Me. Cogs are there as well. They will be able to pick up the kill, but it's just a support. And he is actually able to harass Brain quite a lot. And here comes Envy looking for entangles. Brain's still with the battery assault. Guardian 101 chasing him down. Disruption is going to try to delay it anyway. But is it going to be enough? StarLadder tries to go for Envy. Sonic Wave over the top. Brain still alive somehow. Tower doesn't favor him. There goes the Aegis. StarLadder hasn't got an RP. Can only try to stand by and try to protect Envy when he backs up. And tangle up on Judo. Keeper of Light goes down to Queen of Pain in the meantime, and Judo stays alive.
Oh no.
Eclipse Guardian is going to be going down before his RP came back off cooldown, as it is right about now. And they were able to take down the tower as well. OsG taking a really big fight here in the mid lane. Taking the Aegis, taking the Magnus, taking the Keeper of the Light, taking a tower, and not losing anything in return.
And they killed the bear, so Envy has to resummon in 2 seconds. He will resummon it, but that's 140 seconds. If they get the bear again, it's down. Honestly, I would say Oslic completely outplayed Kaipi in that fight. I can't put it any other way, really. They didn't lose anyone, including the Clockwork that was initiated upon. Just excellent positioning. I actually thought the disruption might be questionable, but it gave just enough time for Cogs to come back off cooldown, and so Clockwork kited the entire Kaipi team for a very long time, while the Queen of Pain and eventually the Eclipse mopped them up. An excellent team fight from Oslic. They continue to really impress me.
Yeah, and they just, of course, took down the first tower. They're still a tower behind, but they're now 4 kills ahead. In terms of gold, it's still going the way of KP, though, and that's, of course, mostly Eternal Envy is just doing really well on the farm. Of course, his Midas cannot be ignored, and he's also going to be able to pick up this tower. No, nice deny from StarLadder, and they might be able to get the bear. As you said, that would be huge, but it looks like it's going to be in safety in time, unless Judo. No, never mind. Soul Catcher and Lucent Beam. Too much damage, and this is a sad master. He actually has another bear. What?
Oh no, I was wrong. The bear survived the last fight. That's my mistake. He sent it was back to Fountain some way or another. So it's okay, but still, that's a very nice pickup for them. Honestly, OsG, again, their counter initiation. 2 straight fights this game, and fights last game. Like, I don't know, it's really good.
Yeah, they are out of tier 1s though, and map control still going the way of KP.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can get kills, but you have to get something in return for them. And the question remains: when are they gonna try to just take fights of their own? Because right now they've been replying to KP and been able to take kills off of the back of that one, but they haven't really been trying to look for fights. They've been trying to look for trades in terms of map control, but that's how they ended up fighting. But when are they gonna be looking for fights is the question.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's probably has to be pretty soon. I mean, by now they know just how quickly Lone Druid is farming. So, and ooh, this is a really smart pickup for Lone Druid, actually. He's gotten the cloak. I suspect that he's actually going to climb all the way. Well, maybe he'll just keep the cloak and go for more damage, but he could go pipe, which would be enormous against OsG's lineup.
And just a very early pipe would allow KP to also just start pushing and not worry too much about sonic waves or eclipses. Basically, would indeed be a nice one for them. And KP, the one that has been aggressive the whole time, and we're actually seeing them for the first time, well, since they started being aggressive, being a bit passive again. Eternal Envy showing himself, but other than that, everybody is hiding.
Yeah. And this Magnus, Guardian 101, he really has to find his blink, in my opinion. He's 800 off, so he can get it. If he doesn't get picked off, he can farm for it, but you can see he's very, very scared of getting picked off, and rightfully so, in my opinion. But I agree with you, Sheever. I feel like OsG, they're acting with a little bit of a lack of urgency, considering just how big this Lone Druid is getting and at such an accelerated rate. You see that, again, he's 3 levels ahead of Judo on the Luna, and Judo just cleared out a giant stack of Ancients, so even when clearing out a giant stack of Ancients still doesn't put you ahead, I don't know, to me it's kind of emergency hour, but maybe not.
Well, I'm not sure if they realize the position that they're in. Of course, it's, I mean, one of the bigger things in Dota is, of course, realizing when you are ahead, when you can push, when you can't push, what you can and can't do, depending on the state of the situation. That's basically the whole game of Dota wrapped into one, and just micro and macro decisions. But it is gonna be OsG that's gonna be pressured once again. This time on the top lane, tower will get denied once again, but still a tower down, still bomb rep control to KP. Then they already have the gold advantage, so they don't really necessarily need the tower gold. The core items are up. We know Come With Me has been doing really well. We know that Bone has been getting his mechanism already. Pylite Die has got an okay farm. So in terms of net worth, or in terms of rather just core items, that tower gold is not adding that much. It's just adding map control, and that is basically just as good at this moment.
It's absolutely the map control, and that's the thing. It's nice that OsG are a very mobile team, because they're going to need the mobility just to get away from fights for a little while. I don't think they can defend their towers right now. It has to rely on them just, again, getting a great sort of setup, because Envy is going to push those, the Lone Druid is going to push those towers down extremely quickly. You really don't have that much time to muster a defense. Like, you could see when they pushed the tier 2 top, they almost tried to defend it, and then they were like, actually, we just don't have the time to do this. I think OsG, if they can try to counterpush some of these tier 1s, to get the map a little bit back in their favor, that would be great, because if Kaipi can reinforce off of tier 1s and join fights quickly, it's very, very problematic. Like, for instance, the next Roshan, only about 4 minutes away, and you don't want dire tier 1 to be available for that.
Very much true, and we actually saw OsG just on the bottom lane. I'm kind of thinking they were trying to push, but they need to be with more than just 3, and they actually smoke up right now. So, sign of aggression just from the 2 supports though, and I'm actually worried for them right now, because the time of 2-man ganks is over, and they're actually going to be finding a ward after placing the sentry ward and back off. Well, I'm not quite sure why.
Well, it's smart, because Kaipi has amazing, like, their vision there was perfect. A complete ring around where OsG were. Like, they knew everywhere where OsG were setting up or where they were moving. And when you're up against a ganking team, you know, Shadow Demon, Nyx Assassin, Queen of Pain, to know where they are at any given time. Oh, nice RP.
Yeah, it gets an impale though. StarLadder still alive, able to blink himself away. Demonic Purge upon Guardian, out of mana completely. He's gonna be finding Come With Me. And then there goes the disruption up on Shadow Demon himself. Sonic Wave only clears out some creeps, and it is gonna be another impale up on Come With Me. And that is gonna be a kill. Golden Wave Oslick once again. They take the counter initiation, and they take a kill. And they don't lose a single hero.
Yeah, very snazzy play from them again. I'm kind of surprised that. Oh man, the skewer though, but I don't think it does much. Yeah, he's fine. He does have his blink, by the way, finally, for Magnus. I think he was so happy that he had the blink that he was like, oh, I'll take Queen of Pain.
Yeah, I just have to blink RP. I'll take her. I'll take her. Not realizing that there were actually quite a lot of people around there. Yeah,
but very nice defense from Oslick there. I'm loving their play, and again, the main concern is eventually Lone Druid can high ground you. Like, he just can. And they have to be able to stop that somehow, because what Kaipi are going to eventually do is to sit with 4 people on the low ground, bomb illuminates up to the high ground while the bear sits on the tower. And I don't right now see a solution for Oslick to that.
Well, not even Cogs can help you there. Not long enough duration. They just need damage to take down the bear, perhaps. But damage so far, Luna has got her BKB almost ready. That will help out. So far, we've mostly seen her involved in fights, and then her Eclipse and her Lucent Beam have been able to do most of the damage. But she needs more. She needs more right-click power right now, and that's just what entire StarLadder needs. Yeah. And there's the BKB ready, so that will help her being able to stand in fights longer and actually just hit stuff rather than running around casting spells.
BKB is generally a core item for Luna, and it's extremely critical in this game, just because once Magnus RPs you and you get illuminated, again, Luna, she can just fall to that, so you need the BKB. Alba could be in a bit of trouble here because there's an Invis rune.
Yeah, he pops a Vendetta though, but Impale's still gonna be there, and that's gonna be an Eclipse by Judo. He comes in to take this. Nyx Assassin still goes down, but Guardian will go down as well. Come With Me gonna get picked up as well. That's a double kill for Judo. Nice Entangle though, and Vacuum there as well. StarLadder in a lot of trouble, but the mechanism coming in from Brain. It is gonna be a disruption trying to help out here as well, as the Cogs lock in the bear. The bear does go down, but at least he'll take the Clockwork with him, and that is gonna be 2 for 2 in the end, and a pause.
And 2 for 2, and they take a pause.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about that fight. That was the reveal, the big reveal of the BKB. So now KP know that Luna just finished this. They knew she was working towards it, but now they know it's there. Pretty nice reinforcement from Kaipi there. We did see Pylai die, pull Bone 7 into the fight in the middle of the fight, which I initially was like, uh-oh, Bone 7's about to die, but it actually worked fantastically well for them there. The ability to put down the wall, it generated a Luna illusion that chased Luna out of the fight. The illusion chased her out, and she wasn't able to continue delivering that damage. And so that really turned the fight for Kaipi, and eventually led to a 2 for 2 trade. Again, Oslick, almost, like, it's the same pattern. They always stay close enough. They don't just do 5-man Dota. They do like one person is in one place and the rest are close enough that they can reinforce. So they do it again, but for the first time they didn't come away with a convincing victory.
Yeah, and this might be the start of something troublesome. They did take down the bear in the end, and there is no resummon, but I don't think Eternal Envy is gonna, be too upset. I mean, he can just farm until he has a new bear. And it's not like StarLadder is really pressuring KP to fight instead, which is something that they probably should be doing, or at least try to take down the tier 1 towers of KP, because having that map control is actually pretty huge, and so far map control still just in favor of KP. There is only one ward, actually Observer ward, in place for StarLadder. It's on the bottom lane, and they might try to go for that.
It's way out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but the only way that they're gonna be able to make use of it is if they're actually gonna go on the bottom lane. We do have some sentry wards being placed, and there are new observer wards as well, so that's great. But
yeah, I don't know that last fight. I don't know what it says about the game state currently, just because it was such a scrappy fight. Like, everybody was just kind of all over the place. Additionally, Magnus didn't end up doing much of anything. He died before he was able to make a contribution. I still feel like you have to say, if things come together for Kaipi, they can win a fight pretty easily, just because I mean, Magnus didn't RP at all that fight. He's 1-5-2 right now, but all he has to do is land an RP on 2 or 3, and I feel like Kaipi take that fight right there. Additionally, Roshan is back up. Oslick do have some vision of this, but I feel like Kaipi, because of this early medallion pickup from the Lone Druid, can clear out Roshan extremely quickly. and another Aegis would put them substantially ahead, I think.
Wow, look at the farm that Darkseer has. He was able to pick himself up at BKB.
This is really good.
This is Battle Darkseer.
Battle Darkseer, exactly, Sheever. No, I agree with you. And again, Magic Community is so good against OsG's team. Like the Eclipse, the Queen of Pain, even the Nyx Assassin. That's a large amount of incoming damage. And if Darkseer can tank through all of that, he can do a lot.
Yeah, we are gonna see a tier 2 tower being under siege. There is a tier 1 being taken in return for that. Judo probably is not gonna TP to bottom tower to try and defend that. They know that they can't, or are they actually trying? Looks like Obi-Wan Banon came a bit too close, gets disrupted, might be able to stay alive, but nope.
Yeah.
Tower goes down as well as the Shadow Demon, and that is gonna be a nice pickup for KP. This time no counter initiation from OsG because no Judo around, and that's gonna be KP going to Roshan.
Yeah, and I think they can get this Roshan without any interference. I'm not sure, that feels like it was a little bit of a miscommunication. Like, clearly Obi-Wan thought that Judo was going to come down and join the fight. Judo didn't. I would have to agree with Judo's decision there. I don't think that they can defend a tower like that yet because Kaipi just had too much damage to bring it down. So I think it's a fine trade. It's just too bad that the Shadow Demon had to die.
But too much out of place, and we are gonna see the Roshan, of course, drop and Envy picking up the Aegis, and everybody OSG just now having to play it extra safe. For 6 minutes long, they can't really try to go for counter initiation because of that Aegis. Last time they were able to pick it up fairly fast. I don't think KP is gonna allow them to this time.
Right, they're going to be more careful about keeping their Aegis, but actually they might get caught out without Eternal Envy here if OsG know. The problem is no vision.
Yep.
Yeah, they just don't know enough about Kaipi's positioning currently.
Oh, Slander. Ooh,
I actually think they'd be favored if they tried to pick a fight, but they're just a little bit too spread out now. Again, Kaipi, their vision has just been, look how smart this is. Just constantly putting sentries and observers on every single inch of territory that they win to completely control, like, these sentries are, look how smart this choke pointing is. Sentries have a tiny amount of vision around them, so anybody smoking coming through this area, through the Radiant Jungle, is going to get spotted out.
Yeah, if you have your camera there at that point, but I don't think OsG can really afford to go for a smoke right now. They need to just find farm rather than just find fights, because we already saw Pilot Die able to just pull anybody into the fight the moment that a fight breaks out, and a 5-on-5 fight right now probably won't turn into OsG's favor unless they can really outplay their opponent, but... TP's coming in, looking for pickups. Obi-Wan Banon gonna be finding himself a bear bashing on him, and there's an entangle, and that's gonna be a kill.
That's when that panda cosmetic really comes into play. That entangle is at such an unfortunate time. He was about to defensively disrupt himself, but no such luck. No such luck for Obi-Wan.
I like what OsG were trying to do though. Like, they realized their jungle wasn't safe, so they tried to take over the jungle of KP, tried to get some farm there, and actually place some wards there as well. But in the end, only picked up the small camp, which is really not why you want to walk all the way towards the top lane. Slander in the meantime does have his Orchid, has got the Ogre Club as well for the BKB to start with, and we do of course have the BKB and Judo that we already saw, but since then he wasn't able to pick up any new items just yet. Or do we have something in the courier actually? Yes, I was gonna say Manta style, because he only died once this game.
Yep, just the once. He's had a very nice game. He actually decreased his sort of level disadvantage. Oh, Alba does get a little bit picked off here. I think they don't have enough damage because it's just the supports, but still, completely warding that Nyx Assassin off. And keep in mind, Come With Me has his blink now too. And we talked about how OsG had the superior mobility, but the more blinks that come out on Kaipi, the less that's true.
Yeah, counter mobility from KP, and they bash down the tier 2 and looking for action on the tier 3 here as well, forcing out some TPs from OsG. Only Judo not coming in here yet. Judo now only TPing in when the tower is already down to half HP. There's no fortification. Judo, will they actually try to fight this? BKBs need to be turned on. Darkseer Wall is already there. Bone 7 trying to do what he can, and Tangle up on Slander will help him put down. Judo now in a lot of trouble. Look at that damage and an entangle. BKB won't save him. Buyback from Slander. Elba gonna get picked up here as well. Triple kill from Envy, and that's gonna be an ultra kill from Envy. Can he make it a rampage? He still has that Aegis, and he has the bear, and that's a rampage on a lone druid from Eternal Envy. With Elba buying back, getting solo RP'd, Cogs coming off from Come With Me, telekinesis there as well, and that is gonna be Spike Carapace, Fate Bolt. No, that's gonna be no kill, but that's still a rampage.
Yeah, very nice job of resummoning the bear just before moments before he went down to actually pick up that rampage. And there we go, they broke the base. Like I said, Oslic, we were talking earlier about the dilemma that Oslic faces, where Kaipi can just put the bear on the high ground and stay on the low ground. That's what you see happening there. Oslic realized that to defend their racks, they need to engage on the low ground, and that's just vastly less favorable territory. And Kaipi punished them very, very hard for it. Very nicely played by Kaipi. The first team fight that they've actually just dominated, and it's the most important team fight of the entire game.
Yeah, they took 2 racks off that. They are going to back off. OsG is not giving up just yet.
They were. That's unfortunate. Oslic maybe could have gotten pickoffs there, but the Queen of Pain, Slander, actually walked in front of the Clockwork just as he was hooking, unfortunately. That maybe could have been a kill or 2, but instead they just lose 2 sets of racks. That's rough. They do keep the ranged, but the ranged is everybody's second favorite racks type.
Yeah, that's not really where you what you wanna have. Wow, look at the inventory of Envy. He's got himself Basher on the bear. His Assault Grass is already ready, and on top of that, he's got almost 6k gold in his inventory after the previous push. And I'm thinking Gold Graph. And of course, we already saw KP just, you know, slowly but steadily went in their favor constantly. With just the map control increasing, farm increasing, and it went their way, and then boom, team fight going their way, and they are now almost up to 20k gold in their favor. Experience graph a bit more drastic, I'd say, coming from the 5k going towards that 17k, and it is looking pretty grim right now for OsG Gaming.
When you break a base, it's so much gold that suddenly flows to you, because tier 3 towers are a lot of gold, and Raxes are a decent amount of gold, and if you get some of the huts, it looks like they got a couple huts. Those are, I mean, 110 a pop as well. Keep in mind that Clairvoyance got the last hit on pretty much every single one of those buildings. Sorry, Clairvoyance. I've been reading too much Twitch chat. Eternal Envy
Wow.
got the last hit on pretty much all of those buildings, so that was an incredible amount of gold coming into him, which now gives him Boots of Travel and Abyssal in one shopping trip. That's like a supermarket spree right there.
Supermarket spree. Ooh, we have a smoke up though from OsG Gaming. Gonna be hooking into Eternal Envy. Nice attempt, but is it gonna be enough? The damage, the pipe is there. It doesn't look to be enough. It is enough to pick up Eternal Envy. Actually, Come With Me is gonna drop here as well. OsG Gaming looking for it. It is gonna be Obi-Wan Baton that will still go down. The RP already getting used. It is gonna be Guardian 101 that will go down as well. That's 4 dead and only 1 remaining, and that one is Bone 7, and he is now just Bones because he is dead on the floor. Oh my god, I never made that pun before. And the team wipe for the other side.
Pretty good.
I thought so too.
Yeah, no, it was good. I agree.
Okay, I shouldn't say that of my own puns. I should just pretend like I make those all the time.
Right, you should be like, you know, just another day at the office making the word plays.
Yeah, this is my thing. It's cool.
Nice fight for Oslic, though.
Yeah.
They desperately needed something like that to happen. I mean, my god. They were absolutely, I would say, almost beyond on the ropes, and that improves their... The thing is, winning a team fight like that, just dominating a team fight, is incredible for levels. Like, look how they were before, and now look at where they are. The Queen of Pain up to 16, 14, and 12. It's really just the Shadow Demon that's way behind now. Now, the problem is they still have 2 completely pushed in lanes. That's still a huge, huge, huge problem. But if they wanted to stay in this game at all, that was the way to do it. And bravo to them, honestly. Again, facing these sort of high-tier teams and looking impressive, even if they don't carry this game. I really think like these guys are a new face to watch on the scene.
Yeah, their team play and coordination is superb. Like, it's been spot on. And mostly, it's been just spotting out the enemy's overextension, spotting out the enemy's mistakes, and instantly hook on that one and just kill them off for it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's what they just did, of course, as well. With the smoke gank, that was... Well, something that they, like you said, really needed to keep into the game, and making sure that KP realized, okay, you know what, they're not going to roll over and die just like that. Might need to wait for another Roshan, actually.
Right. The problem is they have to do that again. Like, they have to do that at least 1 more time, possibly 2 more times to even be tied. And the problem that was true for them before the first Rax went down is still the problem that they have with 3 Raxes left. Is that when Kaipi clean up the next Roshan, they can just go high ground again, put the bear on the high ground, and take Mega Creeps right there. Actually, Judo is buying out, so he's picked up the Butterfly. This is a very risky choice because it means he won't have buyback. I wonder if they're intending to contest Roshan.
I think that they should. They can't allow not to, kinda. But the thing is, if they lose a fight, it's over. But if they don't fight, it's probably over as well, because then you have Eternal Envy and a bear pushing your base. You only have got 3 Rex standing, and you know he might die once, but your Rex will be dead before he is actually really dead. And that's gonna be tough for OsG to really take. They need to contest this. But like you said, Judo did went all in. He doesn't have a buyback, and that's going to be very important if they do want to try to hold on after Roshan. Flare's going to come in. We just have, well, 1 minute before Roshan will spawn, and yeah, they need to contest it. Oh, Elba, you walk past sentries. Those more sentries being dropped there, Impale, and that is going to be a hook shot in. It actually, did it hit? I'm not sure.
No.
Elba is already dead though. Pipe is going on the side of KP. Cogs hit upon Brain. Brain gonna be able to be staying alive, but the bear, it just keeps bashing him and stunning him. Sonic Wave not really doing too much. It seems to be everybody being a bit kited around and everybody just not attacking anybody. What's happening here? Telekinesis here up on StarLadder. Screams and blinks. And the only one really dying was Elba in the start. Oh, and Obi-Wan Bannon will probably die as well. I mean, that bear is just too, powerful. He didn't have entangles though, that has to be said. The bear not really...
2 skull bashes though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the initiation. They missed the hook shot miss and catching the Nyx Assassin with a sentry. Nice sentry placement by Kaipi.
They have so many wards.
Yeah. All game they've been warding incredibly well.
And that's basically that control that KP had over the Roche pit. Just got them that Roche fight as well. Even though I have to say, like, it wasn't a pretty fight for either. I mean, everybody was just running around trying to do things on their own, and you know the synergy was. It was really hard to look for the right place to look for, because normally you have some kind of synergy, you know, some kind of what the team wants to do. But no, it was like every man for themselves.
Well, the thing is, Kaipi have a lot to gain from spreading the... This is counterintuitive because they have Magnus, but at this point you kind of read off the Magnus in some respects. Like, they don't need a huge RP to win fights anymore. So, in that respect, if they can pull Luna away and have her, like, attacking low-profile targets, then they're in pretty good shape. And that's what they did there. It combined with the fact that OsG, they lacked for the execution in that fight. If the hook shot lands, that's a vastly more favorable engagement for OsG than what turned out. Keep in mind, Clockwork went Blade Mail, so if he's locked in with something like, you know, I don't know, Rubik or Magnus, he can do a lot of damage back to them. The other nice pickup for OsG is this Heaven's Halberd on the Queen of Pain. This is solely to disarm the bear, and I think it's actually very smart.
Yeah, Bear actually has got himself an Abyssal Blade, even though he can't, of course, use the... well, the unused effect. He can at least have the extra attack damage, and this bear. I mean, you don't want to run into this bear at night. It's just he is out of his mind right now. And actually, there's an energy booster on the bear. I just figured I'd point that out.
Really?
And does that mean it means that he can use his Abyssal?
It does. So that's what that's for. To give the bear a mana pool means that then you can then activate this without passing it to the Lone Druid.
I don't think I've seen it before.
I love this pickup. I have not seen this in a pro context, at least not recently. I've seen it in pubs, so if you want to do Dagon Bear, you need an energy booster. Just FYI, if you ever want to do Dagon Bear, you need an energy booster. Right. The only thing is, they're going to need to refresh the bear because it doesn't have any mana regen. So they will need to use Arcane Boots after the first Abyssal usage.
Keeper of the Light, Chakra Magic.
Yep. Oh, right, you can check. Can you Chakra the bear?
I think so. You can Chakra Clips if you want to.
Yes. Okay. You're totally right. My knowledge of bear mana is insufficient.
I wonder why. Normally
yeah,
they don't have mana. Yeah.
God, this is so scary. The reason this energy booster is great is because the Lone Druid moves so much slower and can be kited around. You really, if you can use the Abyssal on the bear, you want to. You don't want to be doing sort of fiddly and annoying Abyssal passing among players micro during the middle of the fight. And now that's the problem. I don't think Luna can duel this bear at all anymore. He's finally moving towards lifesteal. Another missed hook shot. Ouch. That would have been an enormous hook if it had landed, but no such luck.
And the bear actually looking for the first hit entangle, didn't get it. Got thrown a
And Kaipi are backdooring? What the heck is this?
Well, I think they're trying to split push. in a way.
I think
waiting
they're trying to bait and jump on Judo if he comes low ground.
Yeah, waiting for the rest of the team to push
Oh,
up
they're
top
pulling
lane.
Envy. They're just gonna come right in. Yeah, they are backdooring. Oh, this is scary.
Judo, telekinesis is gonna be there. Disruption also there to save his life though, but the RP will still hit. Illuminate flying through, but the BKB is up on Judo. Will he be able to stay alive through this? And he is, but not for long. He will still go down the moment his BKB wore off. And that is gonna be the end of this one. 3 heroes already on the sideline for OsG as we see Alba doing what he can. Telekinesis is gonna be there, and he is gonna get dropped. Eclipse stolen by Come With Me, and the last one survivor is StarLadder. Sitting inside his base, and tier 4 towers fortified for now, but will probably quickly drop the moment that yeah, it's over, and that is gonna probably be the game as well. OsG, no buybacks for them, and are gonna be calling out the GG well played. And that is actually, it is GG well played from OsG as well as from KP, I have to say. An enjoyable game to watch.
Pretty good, yeah. Honestly, they performed quite well. The one major issue that I think it comes down to is you pick a team, you know that the other team's carry situation is fairly delicate early, and doubly so after they had the Midas. And yet, Oslic's movement in the early game was mostly confined to the southern hemisphere of the map, right? Like, they really didn't make many incursions at all into Eternal Envy's space. I really feel like if Queen of Pain, if Slander had been more active early, especially, and even if you don't kill Envy every time, maybe you can kill his bear, maybe you can send him back to base. I mean, look at this Lone Druid, 786 gold per minute. Like, the longer a game goes when somebody's accruing 800 gold every dang minute, the tougher it is to defend against that, especially in a lineup that really doesn't have that much anti-push, right? Like, they just don't have that much to clear a creep wave out quickly, except for Luna auto-attack. And if Luna's up there auto-attacking, she's extremely vulnerable to getting locked down.
Yeah, and once again, that also, of course, comes down to OsG. They replied mostly to what KP did, and we basically saw them once really go for something themselves when they went for a smoke gank after their Rex got taken down, and they dominated that fight. But they haven't really done that often. We haven't really tried to initiate a fight like that very often, and if they maybe did that indeed, like you said earlier in the game as well, they might have been in a better position later on in the game with not having a lone druid that big, because they just didn't have the sustainability to take him down, or the high burst damage to take him down, because at some point the bear is going to kill your towers. But this was the last game for StarLadder for today. Yeah, not the entire season, of course not. We are only in day number 4. We're going to be seeing a lot of games. Every team needs to face each other once. That is 15 games per team, 16 teams in here. And of course there's not that many games yet, as in we had about 2 each day, 4 each day sometimes 1. And that's basically due to the qualifiers, as StarLadder is of course also casting all the qualifiers, so they have a super busy schedule and they can't really fit all the games in. Of course also a lot of teams not here, as we need to wait for Alliance to come back from China and all that stuff. So
the G1.
From the G1 League starting on Friday, you need to watch that. If you are not aware, you are now, need to watch that stuff. It should be really great matches, and of course West meeting East, gonna be very enjoyable to see how that's gonna be going. And well, there will be more StarLadder tomorrow. I'm not quite sure yet which games or which teams, but we'll find out. Of course, keep an eye on SheeverGaming.com, where you can find all the games of today and tomorrow, including who's casting what, and including all the games that have already been played with all the VODs of all the casters, of all the tournaments, of everything. So check that out as well. As you can of course also check www.starladder.tv. Boom, there you go. And you can follow me on twitter.com/SheeverGaming. And of course, my co-caster for tonight was Vykromond. Plug yourself in. Shout out everybody that you want to shout out. Go.
Well, shoutouts to you, of course. Thanks, Sheever, for the opportunity to cast today. Always a fun time. And the StarLadder guys, I mean, you mentioned, those guys are nuts. They're keeping a pretty crazy schedule. Both sets of qualifiers, as well as their own tournament, which they have to administrate and run. I know people have been giving Vlad a little bit of grief. He did have a pretty big reaction. There was a little bit of Twitter drama the last few days, but keep in mind the guy's probably sleeping maybe an hour a night, so like people should cut him a little bit of slack. Shoutouts to everybody in Twitch chat today. I know some people may not have seen my casting before. You can check me out, Vykromond. You can either do .com, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Basically, if you type my name into Google, it's all me, and then there's the Swedish metal band that has the same name. No relation, though.
You didn't name yourself after the Swedish metal band?
I did not.
Oh.
I think it was. So I named myself. Whatever. I'll tell you the story some other time. I don't want to waste any more of your time.
Okay, I think you already told it once, but I forgot. I think
That's
it was
cool.
about
We'll
the same
talk about
time when you said that you were Russian.
Yes.
Yes.
And you didn't believe me.
And I didn't believe you until I actually saw your name, which made it quite obvious.
Right.
Okay, so thank you everybody for watching. If you want to watch Dota tonight, more Dota, more competitive Dota, I'm going to be sending you over to twitch.tv/D2L, where earlier today it was EG versus Navi. I think that one is already over though. I'm not 100% sure. It went to a third game. It probably is still going on, but other than that, there's also going to be EG versus Virtus Pro, and that should be a very enjoyable match as well.
Is that today?
Yeah, it actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it turned like that. It wasn't scheduled on their website or anything else until AC woke up basically and told us that it was indeed going to be a double header tonight. So I am going to be watching that while making the VODs of today. Of course, I make all the VODs of today. It's good, and also giving my voice a bit of extra rest. And yeah, maybe hoping that tomorrow's team fights won't be very intense, so that I can actually continue casting for a bit longer until my voice gives out. Ooh. But yeah, let's jump ourselves out of the game. I'm gonna have a commercial for you from StarLadder. I'm gonna have commercials for you from me. I'm gonna have music for you, and I'm gonna be hanging you up also.
Yep.
Vykromond. Okay.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yeah, thanks too, and be back in a minute, people.
Season 6 of the legendary StarLadder TV series. 16 top European teams. 120 season matches plus an epic LAN final voiced by your favorite shoutcasters. Watch the StarLadder TV matches using your Dota 2 client. Get an exclusive StarLadder HUD. Tickets on sale now.